Hello and welcome to Support for Stressful Times. April 2023, times are stressful for many of us. Are they stressful for you too? Or maybe the word stressful is too specific. Maybe how we're living right now is just lots of different ways, a multitude of possible ways of describing what it feels like to be human in the world these days. What we like to do in these webinars is take a little time together to pause and sense, because pausing and sensing is such a powerful way to be present to life in a more grounded and centered way. I'm Ann Weiser Cornell, and I love doing these webinars because I get to pause and sense along with you. And today our theme is especially relationships. How relationships can also be something that supports and helps us in stressful times, but sometimes they're the opposite. It's the relationships that seem to be part of the stress. So let's explore that together today. So yeah, here we are. And it's so lovely to be with you. Let's take a moment together. Just be aware, if you want to join me in this, just be aware of your body right now. And maybe you were forgetting about your body. Maybe not. But now, just feeling your body here and now, where your arms are, where your hands are, finding your feet, maybe wiggling your toes a little so you really feel your feet. Feeling your body in contact. You might be sitting, you might be lying down, you might be standing up. And in any case, your body's in contact with what you're sitting on, standing on, lying on. And you can be aware of that contact. And maybe a deep breath comes, or maybe not, but maybe be aware of your breathing. Sometimes I let a hand go to my heart or to some other part of my body that's feeling stressed right now. And that gentle hand is a way of saying to myself, hello, I'm with you now. This is about inner relationship. It's about being as kind to yourself as possible. Your body is your friend. It's never been trying to hurt you. Even if your body is in pain, there isn't any intention to hurt you. Your body is your partner. So this is a moment to feel your body here and now. And even letting awareness come inward to the inner area of your body, that area that includes your throat and your chest, heart area, and your stomach, belly area. Sensing how you are right now. What's your inner weather like? Your body's always ready to show you how you are. So in my body, I'm actually finding a lot of happiness right now. Happy to be here with you. Happy the sun is shining outside. I'm pausing to check if that's right. So I take the word happiness inside, back to my body, and I check if that's right. And there is a little place kind of around here where there's something not just happiness, Are you sensing, trying out some words to describe how you feel, then checking if that's right? And so I find this place inside that's not just happiness. It's kind of hard to describe, but that's often true, is that when we're in direct contact with what we feel, it's hard to describe at first. And, I grew up in a community, in a family where you were supposed to describe things quickly, tell people how you feel. If you tell them anything at all, tell them quickly. If you don't tell them quickly, they're moving on to something else. There's no patience for sitting with the emergence of something that doesn't have words at first. But we have patience right now, don't we? Let's take that time to be with something that's here. Actually, while I've been talking about this place in my right hand stomach sort of area, it's changed a little. It was kind of dark and a bit crowded. And now as I check in again, it's not so dark and not so crowded. Dark and crowded, yeah. That describes how it used to be. How is it now? I would say smoothing out. Smoothing out. So I hope you're sensing how you are inside at this moment and honoring and allowing time for something that you're feeling that might not be easy to put into words. No need to write in the chat because that takes you away from sensing. But if you do want to write in the chat, it's lovely because it's part of our community conversation. Andrea writes, there's more of an opening and an acceptance. And Heather writes, there's sadness on just one side. Nice. I grew up in a world where you'd better not pay attention to your quote unquote negative feelings like sadness, because that would just make them worse and bring other people down. And but I discovered that the opposite is true. That giving a kind of non-judgmental attention to how we feel allows some next steps to come. Because life wants to live. Everything inside us is alive. It's on its way to what it needs to be next. While we're still sensing inside, I want to bring in the possibility of how are your relationships? You might be feeling lonely, isolated and alone. It might be that as you go to the place inside you that's about how are my relationships, you find there's not enough relational support. And let's be very kind and gentle to that. It's a hard thing to go through. Or when you go to the place inside that says, how are my relationships? You might be feeling, there's so many. It's hard to keep track of them all. How are my relationships? It might be that some are close, some are distant, some are easy and supportive, and some are stressful. Taking some time just to notice right now. How are my relationships? And if you have one or more relationships that really feel supportive to you, let's take a little time to tune into that right now. There's at least one person in your life. Let's see if this is true. There's at least one person in your life who gives you some kind of supported feeling as you think about that person right now. Maybe that person isn't somebody you live near, but still, thinking about them, remembering that person brings this feeling of some feeling that feels supportive. Shall we try that? And let your body give you the feel of that, because I say you feel supported, but that may not be the right word for how it feels to you as you think about that person. Could even be a person that is no longer living or no longer in your life, and yet the memory of that person gives you this something like supported feeling. Could be a person you don't actually know, like an author or a spiritual teacher, or somebody whose sermons you watch on the internet. And yet there is maybe a body feeling of receiving something that you value, that touches you, that helps you. Let's see if there's something like that for you. And then as you receive the gifts from that relationship, there may also be stressful feelings, troubled feelings about, well, but that's not enough. I wish I had more relationships like that. And let's make room for that. So the process we're doing together right now is one of being present to yourself. Simply acknowledging whatever's here. And that's different from how many of us were trained by our families and our cultures to evaluate our feelings, to sort out, I like this feeling and I don't like this one. So I'll feel more that way and I'll feel less that way. I don't think feelings work like that. I think they come. You know how when somebody in the room is yawning and you yawn too? We didn't decide to yawn. It just came. And feelings are like that. They come. So the question is, then what? Well, you can sense who in your life is giving you nurturing relationship and choose to spend more time with that person or those people, sure. But feelings, we don't have much choice about. And every feeling has meaning and value. Feelings don't come for no reason. They're like trailheads. They're like places to start, to explore, to learn more, to become more fully who you are. I think that's a good idea. I want each of you to become more fully who you are. So we're pausing and sensing, and you are sensing someone in your life who gives you something by being, just by being. Hopefully there's somebody like that. And we are also hoping that there's an inner relationship that has that same quality, that when something comes inside you, like sadness or anger or worry or anxiety or upset or irritation, when something comes inside you, you can be present, be with that, have a relationship with it, a relationship of kindness and acceptance. And the language I think helps with that a lot is the language of I am sensing. Something in me feels whatever. So you might try that right now. As you're asking yourself, how are the relationships in my life? As you're noticing whatever comes in response, if there's an emotion that is calling for your attention, clamoring to be acknowledged. Maybe you could say, I am sensing something in me is feeling sad, upset, lonely, worried, anxious, tired. I am sensing something in me is feeling. And then begin describing the feeling, although there'll always be more of a description to it. If it's happiness, you don't have to say something in me, just say, I am sensing happiness. And then after I am sensing something in me, then say, I'm saying hello to that. We're in a partnership with our bodies. Our bodies are always offering us a sense of how life is right now. Tell me how this is going for you. What, if you want to say in the chat, what came for you as we did this exercise together? How was it to sense at least one person in your life you feel supported by? Pausing to sense how relationships are part of what can nurture us, even if some other relationships are not that way. Agnes writes, today I had a call from a friend whom I respect very much, and it's so reassuring to hear that she also appreciates me. Oh, and that I feel much lighter in my chest, and I smile when I remember our chat. That's such a great example of what I'm talking about, Agnes. That event happened. Your friend told you she appreciates you, and you felt good then. And right now, as you're pausing and sensing and remembering that, sensing your body's response, you can also feel it now. So lovely. Hope writes, someone unexpected came by whom I feel supported. And there's a feeling of stillness, quiet, and ease in my body. Yeah, you hadn't expected that that person would pop into your mind as you asked, where do I feel supported in relationships? Yeah. You know, there's actually so many people I feel supported by who are not my friends or family. There's the people at the checkout counter at the grocery store, and the people at the pharmacy, and the wonderful people who take care of my garden, and lots of support that's possible to be aware of. So where else do you feel supported? Do you feel supported by nature? By taking a walk? By looking out the window at something beautiful? Well, Lily writes, my husband is so very nurturing, and something in me feels anxiety and anguish about what looks like his increasing memory loss. Ah, okay, I feel sad about that too, Lily. And that's a great example of how just one relationship with one person can have these different resonances in emotion. I love this person. That person is so supportive of me. And that person may be going through a decline, which will make their life more difficult and them less available for me. The whole experience of loss and anticipated loss, it's another thing we can keep company with inside. When I was growing up, anybody who expressed a difficult emotion, like I miss someone, my mother would come in and say some version of, look on the bright side. Well, at least you have this, or something like that. It's like she couldn't stand for me to just miss that person. Love my mom. Elizabeth writes, I feel supported by the artwork I create. There you go. We were asking, what else do you feel supported by? And Heather writes, a friend who died suddenly on Saturday was a quiet support, a depth of inner kindness. And I'm seeing how that feeling of loss is something in me that feels that loss. And that's a help because I can say hello to it and to him. Well, Heather, I'm so sorry for your loss. And it may be that all of you misses him. But if it helps to say something in me, if it helps you give company to yourself, then that's beautiful too. Catherine is in a new apartment and says, my new neighbors, all seniors, welcome me with smiles and offers of support. Lovely. Well, your new neighbors. You're sensing how welcomed you're feeling by them. So what we're doing today is taking some time together to pause and sense what's here now. We're joining each other in practicing, allowing the feelings that are here to be here. And that is actually something that needs practice for many of us. There may be an automatic reaction from the world we grew up in of distracting from more painful feelings, pushing them away, trying to talk ourselves out of them, or the opposite, which is sort of like letting them get bigger and bigger and take us over. And what we're talking about is an inner relationship in which we can be supportive of ourselves. And then any support we get from those around us helps support the inner relationship. So it's never an either or. It's never, well, I have to go inside and be nice to myself because I can't count on people outside me being nice to me. Well, I mean, if that's how you feel, then say hello to that. But it's not either or. It's not, if I learn to be kind to myself, that means I'm giving up on receiving kindness from others. Not at all. There's a mutuality where I can be present to myself, and that can even more allow me to be open to what I can receive from others. And that's what we're pausing to sense right now, that I can take time to savor and receive and appreciate relationships from others. And Andrea writes, I woke this morning to a dream about my own aging and relationships with others within that context. In the dream, I was trying to figure out who I could trust to see things clearly. And I'm seeing something in me that wants to face and work through my feelings and fears about aging and recognize sources of comfort and support. There you go. I think you're talking about that mutuality, that both and that I'm referring to. I can be with my feelings and I can notice if I'm open to receiving support from others. Notice the places that I might not have recognized before that are actually places of support, both from other people and also from our environment, the world of nature, the world of music and art. And in what way am I feeling supported right now? And I always like to start with the chair. I am feeling supported by my chair right now. Then pausing and receiving what is the support that's here. Heather writes, my little dog is sitting by my feet. Let's talk about feeling supported by animals. Sometimes that's very, very important. Yes. So today we've been pausing, feeling, allowing, spending time with, sensing what's here, treating what comes inside as valuable, as precious. Even the more painful and difficult feelings inside are coming. They're coming now to be acknowledged and known. Notice how something happens when a painful and difficult feeling can be acknowledged. When you can say to a painful and difficult feeling, I'm here with you now. Something happens. It's not the only thing that we need, but it's something. Catherine writes, I'm singing to myself the song, You Are Not Alone, I'm Here With You. Though we're apart, you're always in my heart. And it's soothing to achy muscles. Ah, how nice. That's lovely. It's really, really nice to take this pause with you today. So sweet. Margot says, I'm feeling supported by this webinar. Yay. Thank you so much. Lovely to be with you. We'll do this again in a month. We'll have a different theme, but you know, you could do it every day. Just pause, sense your body supported, bring awareness inside, and sense, how am I right now? Lovely to be with you. Take care. Be seeing you. Bye-bye.